Very warm greetings to all my students. This lecture is on Introduction to UML from subject Object Oriented Analysis and Design using UML. The subject runs in BTech CSE second year, and I am your instructor AkanshaSingh, who will be guiding you throughout the video lecture. This lecture is going to cover Introduction to UML and its importance. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. UML is a family of graphical notations like rectangle, diamond, circle, ellipse, arrows, and these graphical notations definitely help in describing, designing any software system, particularly those software systems which are built around object-oriented style. Now, it is a language which is used to visualize, specify, construct and document the artifacts of an organization. When we say visualize, we are visualizing the software that is going to be developed in future. When we mention specifying is to specify the detailed design of what is going to be constructed in future. And construct is the architecture of the entire software that is going to be developed in future. Documentation is purposely done to write down all the details of the designing that is being done for future reference. This UML language was developed by Grady, Ivar, and Ramborg at Rational Software in 1994. UML is a standardized language which is actually controlled by Object Management Group, a consortium of companies. UML was first drafted as a specification of 1.0 in 1997. When we talk about UML is not considered as any programming language. It is just a methodology to develop a software system, or you can say it is a way of drawing diagram or way of constructing a plan on which the development team is going to work in future. UML is independent of any particular programming language. Why are we saying independent of any particular programming language? It is independent because it is not specific to one programming language. It can work for all the object-oriented styling software systems. Now let's discuss the importance of UML modeling. The first importance of UML modeling is the simplification of the system. UML definitely simplifies the system that is going to be developed in future. It simplifies in terms of giving a better design, giving a better idea to the development team, giving a better visualization to the customers of the system. The second importance of UML that we're going to discuss here is it works as blueprint for the system. Definitely we can call the design to be the blueprint. Why are we saying blueprint? Blueprint is the architectural design on which the software system is going to be developed in the future. So we refer this UML modeling to be a blueprint, and blueprint is definitely going to help any designing system in the future. The third importance of UML modeling is that it helps in visualizing the future of the system. The future of a system could have problems, could have challenges, and if we do that well in advance of visualizing what is going to happen in future, that is a surplus point for the software systems, for the designers, for the development team, for the testing team, and various other stakeholders that are involved in the entire software system. The fourth importance of UML modeling is that it helps in understanding the behavior and the structural aspects of the system. Before mentioning behavioral and structural aspects, let me first clear what is behavioral and what is structural aspects. Now, behavioral aspect means the dynamic aspect that is involved with the system, and the structural aspect is all those static aspects that are involved within the system. If I have to give you an example of structural aspect, I can say any HTML static page of a web is a structural aspect, and any dynamic moving content that you can see on your page is the behavioral aspect of the system. And definitely UML modeling helps us to understand both the aspects in future well in advance. The next the next importance of UML modeling is that it provides a plan for building the system in future. Definitely all the plans that are going to be constructed are there in this UML design. All the stepwise planning is going to be done in advance so that it can help the development team, it can help the customer to understand at what stage what thing is going to be done. The last importance that we are going to discuss is that it provides methodology for documenting the decisions that are made while constructing the system. Now, when we say documenting, or when we mention a word called artifact, now documenting means we write down everything. All the plans, all the designs are noted down, are kept in the stack, so that whenever in future another project needs the same design, can verify, can check, and can take the ideas from the old designs. The next thing that we are going to discuss in this lecture is the principle of modeling. Now, when we say principles, there are four important principles that are associated to UML modeling. The first principle says the choice of what model to create has a profound influence on how the problem is attacked and how the solution is shaped. Now, here what we are saying is that any model that is being chosen has to be chosen on the basis of how the problem is and how its solution is going to be tackled. The second principle that we are going to discuss is that every model may be expressed at different level of precision. Now, when we say every model may be expressed at different level of precision, it says every designer has a different aspect to design the diagram, and every designer may tackle different level of precisions from their end. The third principle of modeling is the best models are connected to reality, and that is the fact. When we are supposed to say which model is best, in that criteria, the criteria number one is the model that is best is the one that is connected to the reality, that gives the picture of the reality. The fourth principle is that no single model is sufficient. Every non-trivial system is best approached through a small set of nearly independent model. Here, the fourth principle mentions that a single diagram is not going to be sufficient. Group of diagrams are the sufficient content for any system. And the best approach method for tackling any problem is the small diagrams that we draw for the. Now, the next thing that we're going to discuss here is the difference between the conventional perspective and the object-oriented perspective. Now, the conventional perspective that was initially being handled was the algorithmic approach that took building block as collection as functions. And when we talk about object-oriented perspective, here the building blocks were data and function as one unit, and not just the functions. Earlier in conventional perspective, the approach increased the complexity of the project along with the duration. But when we say object-oriented perspective, here definitely the complexity was reduced. The project duration was also reduced. Talking about the conventional perspective, transition phase there in conventional perspective was not easy. Whereas when we talk about object-oriented perspective, transition here was much more easier. Let me once again repeat, the major difference between conventional perspective and the object-oriented perspective was the basic unit. The basic unit in conventional perspective is function, and the basic unit in object-oriented perspective is object or a class. Now, before ending the video lecture, I would like to discuss the object-oriented programming structure. The object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on objects having both data and methods that aim to incorporate the advantages of modularity, reusability. Objects, which are usually instances of classes, are used to interact with one another to design application and computer programs. Thank you everybody. Any queries, you can let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much.